that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists. Do not listen to the lies that they have spewed. These women are completely out of touch with reality, and you're right.
Joy Behar just learned the hard way what happens when you underestimate a conservative woman. What started as another day at The View quickly spiraled into Behar's worst nightmare when 27-year-old Karoline Leavitt stepped onto the set. Within seconds, the youngest White House press secretary in history completely dismantled Behar's attempt to dismiss her as just another pretty face. The audience's reaction says it all. Even loyal View fans couldn't hide their shock as Leavitt exposed years of the show's blatant hypocrisy. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. It was the smackdown heard around the television world.
You know, we're doing such a great job at the White House. Well, it's easy to do a good job when you are acting on common sense.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
Joy Behar's career may never recover after she made the catastrophic mistake of attacking Karoline Leavitt based solely on her appearance. During a segment that was supposed to be about policy, Behar couldn't help but take a cheap shot, suggesting that Leavitt only secured her position because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. The studio fell silent. Behar smirked, thinking she'd delivered a knockout punch. Little did she know, she had just walked straight into a trap. What happened next left the entire View panel stunned. Leavitt didn't just respond. She absolutely demolished Behar with a calm, calculated takedown that exposed the show's blatant hypocrisy. Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, Leavitt fired back. The audience, normally so quick to applaud the host's every word, sat in uncomfortable silence as Behar's face turned a shade of red not even her makeup artist could conceal.
Hypothetical based on programs that you can't even identify. What I can tell you
just
is
be
that
clear, since you guys haven't identified, let's do it together, just for Americans at home.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework.
The panelists shifted nervously in their seats. Whoopi Goldberg suddenly became fascinated with her note cards. Sunny Hostin stared blankly into the distance. Even the staunchest defenders of The View couldn't salvage this moment. Behar had walked into a buzzsaw of her own making by attacking a woman whose resume makes most television personalities look like amateurs. While Behar was busy judging Leavitt on her appearance, she conveniently ignored the fact that this 10 graduated from prestigious St. Anselm College, ran for Congress at just 25 years old, and served as a campaign press secretary while pregnant. Sources close to the production report that producers were frantically signaling from offstage, desperately trying to cut to commercial as Leavitt systematically dismantled years of The View's supposed pro-woman positioning in just under 2 minutes. The studio audience, typically eager to cheer on the host's political attacks, couldn't hide their discomfort.
Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here. Talk about it, and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason.
Cameras caught several audience members exchanging glances and whispering to each other as Leavitt calmly exposed the show's blatant double standard when it comes to conservative women. One audience member was reportedly overheard saying, "I thought this show was supposed to lift women up, not tear them down based on looks." Television insiders are calling this confrontation the perfect example of cultural Marxism in action. The mainstream media's playbook of attacking anyone who dares to put America first. What makes this instance particularly revealing is how quickly The View abandoned their supposed feminist principles the moment they faced a strong, articulate conservative woman. Behar's attack wasn't just in poor taste. It was a desperate attempt to discredit someone whose arguments she couldn't counter intellectually. Within hours of the broadcast, social media platforms erupted with outrage. Hashtags like "Cancel the View" and "Fire Joy Behar" began trending nationwide, with millions of users sharing clips of Leavitt's takedown. The backlash wasn't limited to conservative circles either.
And you would think, ABC having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit.
Right, ABC should wake up. They just paid $15 million to President Trump's future library. That's a great thing for the American people.
Many liberal women expressed disgust at Behar's willingness to reduce a successful female professional to nothing more than her physical appearance. Here's where things get even more interesting. Inside sources reveal that ABC executives went into full panic mode following the broadcast. Major sponsors reportedly began making calls, expressing serious concerns about continuing their relationships with the show. The network is in crisis mode, one insider claimed. They never expected the backlash to be this severe or this widespread. This sponsor revolt may explain the sudden rumors about Behar's potential exit from the show.
Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about. Women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation.
While officially described as retirement considerations, television industry insiders suggest a very different story. This isn't about Joy deciding to step away. This is about damage control, explained one network source who requested anonymity. The sponsors were clear: either make changes or lose millions in advertising revenue. The fallout continues to spread. Female viewers across political lines are expressing their disillusionment with a program that claims to champion women while simultaneously attacking them based on appearance when they happen to hold conservative views. Nielsen data reportedly shows an alarming drop in female viewership in key demographics following the incident, suggesting The View may have permanently damaged its reputation with its core audience. Make no mistake, this confrontation marks the beginning of the end for The View's reign of terror against conservative women. For years, these liberal hosts have gotten away with degrading accomplished right-wing females like Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Kellyanne Conway, masquerading their attacks as political discourse. But Leavitt just blew the lid off their entire operation. The ratings don't lie. Americans are fleeing mainstream media in unprecedented numbers, and it's precisely because of moments like this. When viewers see how these so-called champions of feminism treat conservative women, the hypocrisy becomes impossible to ignore. The View now faces an existential crisis. Their entire brand of fake female empowerment just collapsed under the weight of their own double standards. The question haunting ABC executives isn't about damage control. It's whether any conservative woman will ever agree to appear on their platform again. Leavitt didn't just win a verbal sparring match. She exposed the show's true colors for all of America to see.